A group of officials in the New Mexico Human Services Department pled the fifth when called to the stand in a hearing in Las Cruces. Some former and current employees in the department have recently testified that they were told to falsify applications from people who should have qualified for emergency assistance. Our producer Sarah Gustavus took a closer look at the details of the hearing and spoke with one woman who says she may have been impacted by the alleged practices in HSD.
In a few minutes, reporter Joey Peters from NM Political Report will join me to talk about the Las Cruces hearing. But first, we wanted to speak with someone who may have been impacted by these alleged management issues. Kimberly Jones went to Las Cruces with the New Mexico Center on Law and Poverty last week to share her experience trying to sign up for food stamps in 2015. She's a home health aide and was getting less than 20 hours a week at her job when she initially applied for food assistance. She was living in a hotel. She now has her own apartment.
In December, I had applied for food stamps because I had met the quota of getting 20 hours a week. And I applied, and they told me that I was able to get emergency food stamps. And I did not receive emergency food stamps. I kept calling every month, and still nothing on my card. And in February, sometime in February, I had went to Healthcare for the Homeless. My job was mainly paying for me to stay where I was at. I was at a hotel, and it was basically enough to pay rent. I wanted to work more. I needed a full-time position. And so at the time, the company that I was with didn't have full-time. Do I eat or do I pay for the room? Or how can I squeeze them both? Because, you know, the hotel wants their money. They don't care if you eat or not. My own cornmeal. So I'm gonna let it thaw out and have my fish fry, my seasonings, and my vegetables. I learned my recipe from my mother and my grandmother.
You got a secret?
No, I don't have a secret. Not yet. I haven't put a little secret on there yet. I was relying on food boxes and the storehouse and, you know, just people in the community, churches. I'm getting $75. I have to hit sales and, you know, discount meat. I can get a little, but not much, you know, so then I rely back on the storehouse or, you know, churches and back to what I was doing before. Please listen to us. We're not out here just trying to eat just to eat. We're eating to survive, you know, and then when you take someone's food from them, they don't have anything. You know, if they really don't have anything, they don't have anything. And that's really sad. Because if the tables were turned, they would want someone to help them. Yeah.
Joey Peters, senior reporter with NM Political Report. Thanks for being here this week.
Thank you.
You went to Las Cruces last week to cover the hearing on the Human Services Department, where workers testified again that they were instructed to falsify applications for folks like Kimberly who should have qualified for emergency assistance. What new information did we hear in the recent hearing?
Well, we had two of the workers who testified before bring additional evidence, and one had said that she had been retaliated at her workplace since first testifying. Another said that her emails on a case she testified about had been deleted by her superiors.
What other evidence have they brought forward to validate the claims that they've made?
I mean, there's been emails and documents submitted to the court on a lot of this, and you know, one particular testimony said, or one particular worker said she was directed to add $400 in assets to one of the cases. Another had said she had been reprimanded for basically fixing an application that was overstated. So they brought that.
And these applications to qualify for emergency assistance, you need to have less than $100 in income and less than $150 in assets.
That's correct.
Officials from the Human Services Department pled the fifth almost 100 times. What questions did they decline to answer in the hearing?
Well, of course, there was pointed questions about these allegations and whether these officials knew about them or ordered them to happen, but there was also more general questions about how the process works, how applications are processed, and every time they pled the fifth and didn't answer.
And they all had to have their own attorneys. Why is that?
Well, when you plead the fifth, you're not answering questions that could potentially hold you criminally liable, and I believe the state is not allowed to defend in criminal matters.
Now, you're a reporter, you've covered lots of court cases and different issues. Had you seen this before?
I've never seen this before. Like I've said before, I've seen it in TV, I've seen it in the movies, I've read it once in a transcript of a case, but I've never seen anything like this, no.
And in late June, HSD is supposed to come back with the results of an internal investigation to the court. What are the big questions that advocates like the New Mexico Center on Law and Poverty want answered from HSD?
Well, first off, the three people who were high up officials who pled the fifth, they want to know what they knew about this process of adding fake assets, if they ordered this process of adding fake assets. They want to know when Secretary Brent Ernest first was aware of this alleged practice. So there's a lot of unanswered questions.
And there's been some mention that this may go back before the Martinez administration as well.
Yeah, one worker testified that it had been going on since at least 2003 when she was first hired in the department. Another told me that they believed it was gone back since the 1990s.
That's really interesting. Now, the Mexico Center on Law and Poverty, who brought the case that you went to the hearing to in Las Cruces, they want some federal intervention in the Income Support Division. What are they asking for exactly?
Basically for an independent monitor to come in and oversee the Income Support Division, much like we have an independent monitor with APD.
We invited HSD multiple times to join us on the show this week. We invited them by email and phone. They declined to provide someone to talk about these issues and to talk about the allegations. Have you been able to put questions directly to HSD officials?
Well, I put questions directly to their spokesman and some of their employees right after the case hearing, and they refused to answer them and said send me an email. So I've been sending their PIO an email several times a day since, and I've heard nothing. It's been crickets.
What questions do you have that are unanswered right now that you feel like the public needs to know?
Again, I think we need to know when the secretary was first made aware of these practices. I think we need to know why these officials are pleading the fifth. Like I said, there's a lot of unanswered questions.
Joey, we'll continue to follow your reporting. Thanks for joining us this week.
Thank you.